Hey, this is Honey with Cannabivarum, and I'm making my very first podcast video. Okay, gonna work on a little video thing going on here, and I'm getting ready to do a moment of clarity. In fact, it's the fifth one that I've done for my podcast. So, Cannabivarum, which means cannabis truth in Latin, has a podcast out that will give you all kinds of very, very interesting and up-to-date information about cannabis. And so right now, I want to do this little moment of clarity so you can get an idea of what happens when we deep dive into a specific subject about cannabivarum. So, it's October 5th, 2020, and the president just left the hospital with COVID-19 on his breath, and a whole slew of some chemical cocktail nobody else would be privy to. I'm pretty nervous about the next 30 days, but I really have faith in the goodness of humanity to prevail. I get that we're really easily programmed by fearful ideas, and that's how man has governed for all time. But there really is a different and balanced way to govern that would take violence out of the equation for the most part. And we'll have to corral the corruption to get there. I'm a 66-year-old white female entrepreneur busting a new company and podcast and video cast in a new industry to give you some very important information that could really lift your quality of life and make a huge difference in your specific neighborhood. Yep, I said that, in your specific neighborhood. Are you a legal medical marijuana patient in Florida about to go into a hospital for surgery and then maybe rehab for several weeks? You think either of those institutions will allow you to keep your cannabis on their premises, much less use it? They won't. And try trying to sneak it in will only get you in big trouble if you or whomever is assisting you will get caught. Hello, litigation. Hey, but I've got a solution, and you'll need to get started now. First, let me help you understand the two reasons why those facilities don't allow it. Uh, oops, hang on just a second. I want to warm my coffee. Stand by. Okay, so this is where I'm going to put a little commercial in after that first introductory segment, and we're going to call it MoC. There we go. And now we're going to get started doing it again. You notice I'm wearing two headsets. One's for you, and one's for this guy that I'm working on. So stand by. Don't you like knowing about all these silly little details? Hey, I'm back. Thanks so much for waiting. There are two reasons why Florida medical institutions shy away from the cannabis issue. One, cannabis is still federally listed as a Schedule I drug, and that puts it in a don't touch category by medical institutions. That whole scene is politically charged, not scientifically. However, the states are beginning to say differently. Hence, Floridians can now get state legal cannabis medicine, but none of the hospitals, rehabs, or elder care facilities will get anywhere near cannabis because they're all federally funded in various ways, and they don't want the feds jerking their license to operate. So until the feds change, there's this really huge fear from institutions, and you can't blame them. So most of them are not even thinking about policies and procedures and patient release forms and all of that stuff yet, not until the feds change their minds. And two, they don't have any policies and procedures or standard operating procedures, or patient release forms. And, we'll have to work all of that up. So that takes a lot of time and learning the laws and all of that stuff. So actually, those documents already exist, and guess what? I just happen to have some. Yeah, and those can be utilized by any of the medical institutions in Florida because they're downloadable, they're editable, and they're already being used in other states where medical marijuana is legal by other medical institutions. So, no excuses. We've already got the goods, and they're here for you, and they're free. And all you have to do is send me an email and tell me you want them. So, you can send me an email at cannabiverum@gmail.com. That's CANNABAVERUM.com. And just tell me you want those documents. I'll shoot them right out to you. No problem. I also wrote a letter of introduction for you to explain your helpful solutions to their problems. But please write your own if you'd like. There's also a link to the Office of Medical Marijuana Use that tells us what the regulations for Florida are. And then the names of two cannabis specialist attorneys who can help with all your concerns. You just want to find somebody who knows what they're talking about. And these particular attorneys are specialists in the cannabis industry. Um, so you download them, and then what? Well, one, I suggest you call the medical facility where you're going and ask what their medical marijuana policies are. If they stumble over the question, ask for the name of the administrator and that office number. And then ask the same question of the administration and tell them you have editable documentation that other facilities are using to protect both the institution and patient, but allows a limited type of delivery for state legal medical marijuana consumption while on their premises that will not affect other staff or patients. Two, you could form a letter of introduction for yourself or use the one I wrote to explain the issues at hand that these documents can correct and send to the administrator. I would tell you to hand deliver these if it weren't the era of COVID-19, because face to face is always great. But keep your mask up, people. That's a real nasty bacteria flying around in the air. And three, give them a chance to peruse the contents and ask that they update you on when they plan to institute the changes so you can make a surgical appointment for then. And if you're really energetic, call the next closest facility in your neck of the woods and see what their responses are. You'd be a real hero to so many people near you, and you'd be making great changes in your immediate society just by making them aware there are solutions at hand. I can't wait to hear what happens, so please let me know. You'll find all the free documents on my website at cannabiverum.com. Just leave your email there or send me a direct note at cannabiverum@gmail.com. Either way, I'll send those documents to you immediately. And just so you guys know, there's no big office here. This is it for me. There's no great big staff to do all the work that goes into these podcasts and websites and blogs and, posting and doing all of that. It's just me. But together, we can make a big difference. We can. Thanks so much for helping to change the cannabis culture in your own neck of the woods. This is the cannabis movement that history books are going to be talking about for years to come, and we are making it happen. So thanks for hanging out. This has been another moment of clarity with Honey and Cannabis Truth. That's CANNABA verum.com. See you next time.